Why hello there. Today I'm going to show you how to get this. Your very own shiny GMAX Charizard, or any shiny you like. So first things first, I messed this up a couple of times. So please turn off autosave. You do not want the game to save when you finish a raid. Next, save, so you don't mess it up like I did.
You gotta be kidding me. I forgot to save the autosave off.
Now, turn your text speed to slow because we need to get a rare purple din. When you throw a wishing piece in and you start to see red, back out before it saves and restart until you get a purple one. Great, now that 10% chance is dealt with, let's try to find our raid seed. So first, we need to get to the 4th frame. What does that mean? Well, we need to skip ahead in time while keeping the raid din active. To do this, you just go into the raid and invite friends. Do this offline, please. And then you go to home, go into your settings, and change the date. Make sure it's on manual so you can control the time. And now move it 1 day forward. Now we go back to the game pressing home twice and exit the raid. Now go back into the raid and you'll see that it's a new raid. This is the 2nd frame. Now we have to do this 2 more times because we need to get to the 4th one. The first 3 frames will always have the same Pokemon, so the 4th one is the one that matters. Now we check the 4th frame, and what you want to find is a 2 IV Pokemon. This is where Raid Finder will be helpful. So you're going to want a 3-star raid, and then you'll check Raid Finder to see if the Pokemon there can have 2 IVs. In our case, Charmeleon and Ninetales works. Once you have your Pokemon, then you have to fight it and catch it. You also want to check to see if they have any hidden ability, because hidden abilities are tough for some programs to get the seed, so I suggest to skip on that Pokemon if it has one. Then level them up to 100. Once you get it to level 100, we can have a better idea of what the IVs are, and then now we can put in its attack, defense, etc. in the Cerebi. You'll also need a chart for the nature to calculate the IVs. Once you put all this information in, we can now put it into the SW seed calculator. After you put this information in, with the nature and everything, it should either say 3 IV or 4 IV. Whichever one it pops up, that's the next one you'll need to find in the 4th frame. Why do we care about the 4th frame again? Well, remember, the 4th frame is the first frame that you can change, so it's the earliest time we can check for a seed. Now, we need to find the next one with 3 or 4 IV, and with Raid Finder, that should be fairly simple. Not easy and time consuming, but simple.
Oh no, I didn't use the right Pokemon.
As a reminder, you should not have to save at any point during this process. You want to make sure that you keep that 4th frame the exact same place where it is. If the calculator is giving you problems on the first one, just start over again and find a different 2 IV. As a note, each one is going to have the exact same stats, so if you found a 3-star Ninetales and you go back and you find another 3-star Ninetales, that's going to be the exact same Pokemon and you're going to run into the same problem again. So find one that's different, perhaps like a 3-star Charmeleon. And worst case scenario, you can always just move things over and save in a different place and then try to find a new frame. So we should have filled in the 2nd place on our calculator. And so now that we found our 3 or 4 IV with the help of Raid Finder, we now need to find a Pokemon in the 5th frame.
I didn't save. I thought I saved.
So why would we care about the 5th frame? Well, the program's going to find the seed using the 2 4th frames and then use the 5th frame as a test to make sure that the seed is correct in predicting the next Pokemon. So what IV should you have for this 5th frame? Well, the less the better, because you want to make sure that the seed matches the best it can. So you should probably find one with 2 to 3 IVs. You could try 4, but you might get some noise and might get different seeds, and then you'll have to look through everything to find out which one is the right seed. So 3 IV is probably the best. Now once you catch it and put everything into the calculator, you'll have to wait some time, probably around 10 minutes or so, and you can also choose the less CPU intensive form, but it'll take even longer, maybe 30 minutes or so, depending on the strength of your CPU. But once you do that, you'll either have a seed or some seeds to be able to actually find out where your shiny is. If you are still running into some problems at this point, here's some tips and tricks. I would suggest picking a Pokemon with 2 abilities because I found that some Pokemon have 1 ability, and that one could mess up the RNG because Raid Finder sometimes shows 1 and 2 for a Pokemon with only 1 ability. And maybe you also just didn't have enough IVs for the 5th frame Pokemon. But these are the 2 things that I found created the most issues on my side. After you get a seed or some seeds, you can now plug these into Raid Finder to find which one is the correct one, or if you have the correct one, you can now check for the shiny. To check against Raid Finder, what you're going to want to do is check the Pokemon that you had and make sure that it lines up in Raid Finder for those Pokemon with those stars. If you want to double check, you can always catch another Pokemon in the 4th or 5th frame and then make sure that it matches up, and in that way you'll be sure that you're actually going to find a shiny in the time that the seed says you will. So now I went into Raid Finder and I put in my seed and I filtered by shiny, and it shows that I have a shiny 1100 frames away. But with the current thing that we have, that will take all day to do the steps to get that far, so we need to go faster. So we can use the casual battle trick. So this one requires the switch to be undocked, so I don't exactly have footage of this trick, even though I did it, but here's pretty much the steps. You want to go to Versus, and then you want to start a casual battle. Once you get matched up, pick your Pokemon. Unfortunately, you won't be battling. When the trainer cards pop up, you want to hold the home button and then bring up the side menu and go to airplane mode. Turn it on, and you should get an error on the screen. Turn it back off, and then press B to go back to the screen, and now you are in a state where you can quickly move through all your dates. I suggest you keep the switch undocked because it is much quicker to move through time with your fingers than using the controller, since it only requires a double tap and a single tap to accept. Now type into Google however many days it is from the current date to your shiny date, and boom, now you can actually start heading towards that shiny. I would suggest you save every couple of months because the game will error if too many days pass in between saves so quickly. Whenever you are within a few hundred or so of your shiny date, or if you get lost, save and catch the current raid Pokemon. Figure out its IVs again, and then use Raid Finder to filter for that specific Pokemon. Once you do, only one Pokemon should show up, and that number will tell you how far off you are from your shiny. Continue until you get close to your shiny date, and then save 10 days or so away to make sure you time it just right. What you're going to want to do is get the shiny Pokemon in the 4th frame. Why does that matter again? Remember, the first 3 Pokemon don't change if you keep saving and resetting. So you want to get the shiny Pokemon into the 4th frame to ensure that you can get the Pokemon that you want to be shiny to be in that frame. Every Pokemon in that shiny frame will be shiny, so you just have to re-roll until you get that shiny GMAX Charizard that you want in the 4th slot. Once you get that 5% or less chance, you can now finally save and catch the GMAX Charizard at your leisure or host it for others. Congrats on finding your shiny. You earned it. If you don't have time to do all this, and finding a shiny is a little bit too much for you, you can actually just subscribe and check when I'm hosting one. I want to thank Blaines and I'm Blizy for their videos on helping me figure everything out. I also want to thank you for watching. Cheers.
So we're looking for possibly a Torkoal. Uh-oh. Huh. I wonder why it's saved. Oh, that's right. Forgot the most important thing that you're supposed to do. The most important thing you're supposed to do is turn off autosave. I didn't save. I thought I saved. Always remember to save, kids. Okay. I guess I didn't save. Did I not? Oh no. Did I not save the auto? Okay, let's check. Is it really? Yep, autosave is still on. You gotta be kidding me. I forgot to save the autosave off. I can just use pure water. Oh no, I didn't use the right Pokemon. Barely did it.